All right, everybody, I thought I'd do a brief run through of things that have been on the table since we last spoke, and kind of a new project I've started. So, see, here's some poker chips, and I've had these for a long time. And I always thought they'd come in handy for something. I never knew what, and I tried to force them into various functions, but nothing ever stuck. And again, they just sat and sat and sat and sat. But I think I've finally come to decent use for them, and we'll get to that in a second. What I've done is, I don't know why, but I've drug out a lot of the old Flames of War stuff that I have, which is quite a lot. And I thought, it's a shame that stuff just sitting in boxes, collecting dust, not getting any use. I thought maybe I'll drag some of that out and see what I can come up with. Well, I thought I would do something along the lines of like bolt action single man type thing, so you don't have to have masses of stuff on the table. Some of these games of miniatures that you see that when it comes to vehicles especially, I've heard the term parking lot. It looks like a used parking lot. There's so much stuff crammed side by side like cordwood. It looks retarded, so I didn't want anything like that. So I thought, yeah, I'll do like an individual type thing. And let me grab this guy. And I thought, I think pennies would work, and I found a few pennies. If you've heard that there's a change shortage going on, you've heard correctly. That is not just a rumor. I had heard that myself, and as I was hunting around the house for pennies to base things, I thought, Jesus, why don't I have more of these? So then I went to a couple of stores and said, hey, can you change $1 out for pennies? No, can't do it. There's a shortage, and I don't know what that's about, but that's real. So, I thought if I could base somebody on a penny, that would be just fine, and then you could fix up the penny base there, no problem, and have your guys. Well, the problem is when it comes to anything more than one figure, or say a support weapon like a machine gun with a couple of guys, there isn't enough room on a penny. In fact, there isn't enough room on a quarter. So I was like, well, what the hell am I going to base these on? And I couldn't figure out what to use until I decided upon these. And I thought, the size is about right. And if you'll notice, there's numbers that circumambulate the edge of the poker chip. So 1 through 6, right? 1, and then 2, etc. 3, 4, 5, 6. And I thought that's something could be done with these, certainly. So that's what I did. And I've based, let me bring you over here, typically based 3 guys to a chip. These are U.S. airborne troops. Now, I guess if you were real anal about it, you could take the center part of the chip and make it look like natural terrain, put some static grass in there, or whatever the case may be. I have to be honest, I'm fine with it the way it is. It gives it a kind of a arcade / gamey feel to it, and I'm digging it. I know it doesn't have like a realistic vibe to it, but again, I'm okay with that. It's something different, and I'm digging it. So typically 3 guys to a base. Let's take this one. I've got them glued on there, but not glued so heavily to such an extent that you can't get them off if need be. This is again, airborne machine gun team. And I painted all these guys. There's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of them back in the day. So, with this Napoleonic 28mm stuff, you think, oh, he doesn't know how to paint, or I just don't want to. I know how to paint. I can do it a halfway decent job. I think the Flames of War thing killed me. I painted so much of this stuff. I think I'm still burnt out on it. So then, that's what I decided to do. And then 1 guy to a base for the leaders, and he's detachable. Why? Because the intention behind that is to stack in the same hex. You'll just stack the chip underneath to represent leader in the same hex. I think that's where he was. I'm probably wrong, doesn't matter. But again, yeah, it worked out fine. And I've got, so we got airborne troops here with leaders. And there they are all out on the table. Now, the table is, of course, that same old school tactical map that I blew up at work and blew out the ink doing it. Let me back out here. And that's what we're looking at. So I've got everything divided up into grids for random placement when I set up the Germans, and that's how they were set up at game start. I've run through a turn of this, and turn 2 is what I hope to run through with you guys. But that's what we're looking at there. And I apologize if this video footage comes out choppy and almost slow motion like. I'm trying to figure out why it's doing that, what's going on with that. Haven't nailed it yet, but I'll get it worked out eventually. I have more trouble with electronics, I swear. But it's not the internet connection, I know that for a fact. So there's a setting on the camera I've maladjusted unknowingly, or there's something going on with the app that I use to transfer camera footage to the PC. One of those two things, but I'll figure that out eventually. So what else? So what system am I using to run this? And well, should be no surprise that it's kind of a homebrew type thing. I'm primarily using the advanced platoon leader or platoon leader stuff rules to run this, but I'm keeping it very stripped down, very streamlined. And this is more of a experimentation thing anyway, so nothing needs to be like written in stone as I do it. The map, I'm going by the terrain on the map, so that does come into play. And the hexes, the distances at which they can fire, coincides more or less with the cardboard hex encounter rules for old school tactical. The firepower for each guy, just for this particular, like I said, experimentation game, is 4 firepower strength for pretty much everybody. Everybody's got pretty much the same range, which is about 6 hexes. And morale, I haven't actually come to that yet, but I'll probably do something generic by way of assigning everybody a generic number, and then rolling to rally and remove pin markers. So to start this, let's see what we can do here. Let's roll some dice, and then we'll start running through a turn of this and see how it plays out. See what you guys think. I wonder if I can actually get some dice rolls on camera. I think we can do that on this big old massive dice tray that is the granddaddy of all dice trays. So let's get, how many troops do I have here? The Americans did knock out one German squad. Other than that, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then we have 2 squads coming on turn 2. I don't know how I came up with that. I just decided that's what needed to happen. So let's roll 7 dice. We're looking for 5s or 6s. Buckets of dice. Everybody's mechanic that they love to hate. So I got 3, that is to say 5s or 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now this is the other half. Again, 5s or 6s. We've got, looks like 6. So the Germans get 6 command points for the start of this turn. Now we need to do the Americans, and it should be 14 on them. So we'll roll 7 and then 7 instead of 14 at the same time. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I do recommend a dice tray. I know y'all like to roll on the game table, but God, it makes me a nervous wreck when I watch people do that. And the dice run over minis and counters and terrain stuff, and it just, it's like a pet peeve of mine. It's become as get a dice tray or dice tower for the love of God. Stop rolling on the game table with the stuff set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 4. And then we've got another 6. That's 8. So the Germans have 6, the Americans have 8. The ones who have less go first. Now what can they do? They can do a number of things. A maximum of 2 actions per squad. And let's see if I can get rid of this glare. 2 actions per squad. Let's see. Let's start over this left. No, let's start up here. I'll bring you up here. The opposing side cannot react to a command action, so we don't have to worry about that nonsense. Let me right there. We're gonna mess with these guys right here. Okay. Okay. Put you right there. Six actions is what they have to work with. Put the dice tray right yonder. And I need some of these. Alright. So this guy, as you may or may not be able to see, has taken a casualties. So I have one of these little tile grout spacers, which come in handy for a number of things, marked on the number that represents his current strength. So I believe that's a 2. So I'm currently doing that. That's subject to change. And he has 2 suppression markers. If he gets, and he has a strength of 2, so if he gets above his current strength, so would be 1 more pin marker, he would be broken, and I would have to try to rally him. What we're going to do right now is try and remove pin markers for 1 action, and that is all you get per squad with a command action, is 1 action per squad. Rolling a 1 die 10, and let's go ahead and say we need a 5 or less. He rolled a 7. He gets nothing. Let's roll for the other pin marker. He rolled a 10, so that was completely useless and wasted an action. Alright, so that's done. Now the Germans are going to run through all their command actions first, and then we'll go from there. What about this guy here? I think he can fire. Can he not? He can. Full strength. He's going to fire at this squad here. This squad here is in the open, so we need a, on a 1 die 10, a 1, 2, or a 3. It's definitely within range. He did not get it, so nothing going on for the Germans there. Another command action used. That brings us down to 4. Let's bring you guys over here. And we'll mark the gray markers as having spent an action, so we know that in the actual round of play that they can only expend 1 more action. That should be pretty straightforward and make all kinds of sense. These guys here, put you in camera there. What are they going to do? They're going to do maybe a little movement, especially since you can't be fired at. 1, 2, 3, 4, since we're going through rough, only puts him there. Mark him as such, and 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go ahead and say, well, the leaders you don't have to worry about really anything. They just move when their squads are activated. So 1, 2, 3. Let's put him right here. We're not even going to mark him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark him. That's 2 more actions spent, and that leaves 2 actions to work with. Let's bring him up 1, 2, 3, 4 right into this building here and mark him. That leaves 1 action left to work with, command action that is. These guys down here need to be brought up somewhere. Let's bring him 1, 2, 3. Let's put him right here. This is kind of a reserve group there. Mark that, and that should be it for the command actions. Now here's something to consider. Do I want to go right over to the Americans and let them do their command actions? Or do I want to run through the rest of the German turn? Let me determine this here. through some stuff here. Sorry, y'all. Machine so it activates all of its squads. Let's run through. Let's do that. Let's run through the Americans next. And they have again 8 command actions they can use. Bring you to some Americans. Let's go back over here. Maybe get some fire action going on with these guys. If I can bring them in camera with the Germans they're firing at, that would be just the hummingbird's beard. Let's do that. Alright, here's our actions. And I need this stuff. Let's run through the Americans and see what they got going on. Again, 8 of these guys to work with. Let's fire this guy here. Fire strength of 4. So we're going to roll 4 dice. And he is behind cover, so a 1, 2, or a 3, and he's going to absorb 1 hit for being in cover. We have 2 hits. 1 is absorbed. So he does get another hit. That drops him from a 2 to a 1. He also gets another suppression marker, and because 3 is more than 1, he is now broken. So maybe I can use this to represent being broken. So if I stick this, and again, what you're watching here is me kind of creating as I go here. Maybe I give you a look into the thought process that goes on in my head, because this is primarily how I exist. Well, that doesn't matter. He can't. Yeah, I guess it does. So he's broken. And then this guy is, does he have, yes he does, 2, 3, yeah, he can fire, same thing, 4 dice, he's full strength, looking for a 1, a 2, or a 3, and then one of them's going to get absorbed for the cover, at least 1 hit. This guy drops from a 4 to a 3, mark it accordingly, and he gets command action thing, and he gets 1 suppression marker. So if you get 1 or more hits, regardless of whether or not they're absorbed, you get 1 suppression marker attached there, and drop one of these off. That is the Thin Red Line soundtrack in the background, which is probably too loud for most of you. This guy has 2 suppression markers and a strength of 2, so he's right on the edge there. We can still spend a command action to try and get rid of those, so he doesn't break as soon as it gets fired at. And it's going to be 2 dice looking for 5 or less. And he couldn't do it either, so I don't know. These guys just don't like to rally. I can't remember if I used a leader's just gonna hang. 4 more actions to work with. If we bring these guys, I wonder if we can bring them around somewhere, around like a flanking maneuver or something. 1, 2, 3. Remember, these are command actions, so you can't react to a command action. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, why not? Screw it. 1, 2, 3, 4 actually, because you have to go over this. What is this? A hedge thing or something? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I put him here. Does that do anything? Maybe. So that's 2 more command actions spent. Mark them. And no, he's not suppressed. He's there. 2 left. What does that leave? Well, we got these guys here. You guys probably couldn't even see what I just did over there. I just realized. Let's see if we can mess with these guys. Yeah. 2 more. let's go ahead and see if we can knock this guy out. Fire. Is he from that side? Oh yeah, he's still in cover. We can just get one hit on him, we can knock him out. So mark that. And that's gonna be four dice. 1, 2, or 3, and one of those is gonna get absorbed, and they got one hit which got absorbed, so nothing there. And with our last command action, let's try and knock the same guy out again. 1, 2, or 3, looking for a one hit absorb, so he's hanging tight. That guy cannot get knocked out. Now, it goes back to the Germans' action phase. That was the command phase. Now let's go back to the German action phase. And that's when everybody can move. You're limited to who can do what in the command phase, and then everybody can do something in the action phase as long as they have actions available. You know, some of these guys are going to have limited actions because they acted in the command phase. So like this guy is only going to get one action, while this guy is going to get 2 actions because he didn't do anything in the command phase. Alright. And with our thought process behind, and it seems to be a common theme with me these days, the thought process behind these guys back here is not to have them back here, but to move them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that ends him. Because that is another move, and 2 actions is done. His buddy needs to come meet him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put him here. Now he can't move again. I think I will. 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts him, here. They're not within line of sight of anybody or range, so nothing to worry about there. That's when we move there. These guys here have some things they can do. What do they want to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nobody's within range. I think I'm just gonna hang tight. That's to say, not move up. I'm gonna put this guy here so we can fire right down that road if need be. Then I'm gonna put the leader here, move him in the woods so he's in cover. That would be a +2 cover. Same with him. Actually, no, put him right here so we're not, our line of sight isn't degraded when we shoot. In fact, let's keep him in the house. He stays in the house, so he's kind of got a pass. Nope, he does not pass. That'll come into play. See, with reaction fire, which now reaction fire can take place, right? If you've spent your 2 actions, you don't get reaction fire. I don't care if the guy comes up and taps you on the nose. You're not firing at him. You need to plan ahead for that. So I guess in this respect, you could call it, what is the word for it? Not reaction fire, but I can't think of it. I'll think of it in a second. Well, basically, you're planning ahead and possible need to fire at something. So they're done. Opportunity fire, is that what I'm thinking of? No, that's not it either. That's the term used in tactical combat series. It's escaping me right now. This over here. So that's what I'm going to do with these guys. I mean, I might move them up a little bit, but for the most part, they're going to definitely reserve an action apiece so they can op fire if need be. So 1, 2, 3, we'll put them right in that building there. Mark him. Now the give and take is, of course, you're not using all your actions because there's no guarantee they are going to get to reaction fire. So it's a gamble you take, right? I mean, is it better to be safe than sorry? Well, you have to decide that. And then put him here. So they've moved accordingly, but not too far, and they still have an action to expend on reaction fire if needed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put puts him here. Let's move him up. 1, 2, 3. We don't mark leaders. 1, 2, 3. Well, see, here's an instance where I need to stack. Now, how do I work this? Like that? Should I stack that like that, or should I just stick him on the side here? Let's stack it like that and see if that's an effective enough device to help me remember that's what happened there. He moved, right? And is this guy? We'll keep him there. So there's that. Maybe I'll put him right here. All right, so that brings us to these guys here. What do you want to do with these guys? Well, he's broken, so I guess we need to rally. He has 1 action left to do so. 5 or less. He does not get it. He's done. He cannot reaction fire. This guy has a strength of 3. 1 suppression marker, which doesn't come into play yet. And he's already, so I'll leave him available for a reaction. And I think that's it for the Germans. That brings us back to the Americans. Let's go this way. I'll start from left to right, as I typically do. So let's go with these guys here. All right, let's send 1 down the road and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. He would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely in line of sight now. Which means this guy has line of sight. Let me check it. Yeah, he's got that all day. So he's gonna roll his 4 dice. He's moving. He's in the open, so I get instead of 1 to 3, I get a 1 to 4 on 4 dice, and I got, oh Jesus, knocked him out. 4 hits. Look at that. Boom, gone. That's what you get for moving around like an idiot. Well, on the brighter side, they have no more reaction fires left. 1, 2, 3, 4, so he can just move 1, 2, 3. You know, let's put him right here at least. That's. And then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's put him here. I'll feel better about all this if I do it like that. Bring Alita up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these guys can still fire. I don't know if I'm going to add a modifier for moving. I don't think I am. How do you like them apples? 1, 2, or 3. Got this guy here. Nothing. Same for this guy. 1, 2, or 3. And he got 1 hit. I don't know if any cover comes into play though. This is like caddy corner diagonal with this. I guess it does. I only got 1 hit, so that 1 hit's going to be absorbed by cover, but he still gets a suppression marker for the hit. So they're done. Then we go to these guys. These guys here. They just need to move. What is the objective here? The objective, more or less, is to get across the map. But you also get points for victory points for knocking guys out, casualty points. But as the Americans, you want to get too wrapped up in firefights. You just want to move. Then again, I mean, common courtesy, you don't want to leave a bunch of Germans behind you for the next group to have to deal with, so there's that. There's an ethics involved. 1, 2, 3. Put him here. That is a mortar. Let's see if we can mess with this mortar here. What do you think? So we moved him. Technically, he probably wouldn't be able to fire in the same turn he moved, but I'm going to amend that. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going right here. Machine gun 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And the leader 1, 2, 3 right there. Let's see what we can do with all this stuff. Let's start with a mortar. Now you get 3 attempts to range in, and I'm using the Flames of War rules for the mortar. Let me find it so I know I'm doing it right. And if he does range in, all these guys are probably gonna. I don't have the template that's in a box. I need to get it out, but I'm gonna say they all fit under that template. So. Oh, that's not it. 3 attempts to range in. What do I roll on? Then you have to determine their skill. Gun down, gun saves. Target team skill. Let's say these guys are a veteran, because technically the Germans here that I based are all Fallschirmjäger. I don't think I mentioned that, so that would be veteran, and to hit a veteran team you need a 4 or better. And you get 3 attempts to do so. So let's roll a d6. See what we get. First attempt, 4 or better, we get it. So he got it, so what does that mean? What is the effect of the mortar, huh? I hadn't considered that. What's the firepower of this mortar going to be? Oh, jeez, Marge. Almost nothing here, is it? Let's go back to this book. What's the firepower of this mortar? Roll to hit teams under the template. Roll to hit. Looks like we're just going to do straight Flames of War stuff here for the mortar. Score needed to hit 5 plus. They're veterans, so we need a 3 plus. You roll for. What's the rate of fire on a mortar, huh? You guys know offhand? I need another rate of fire so I know the number of dice to roll. Yeah, it's a 6-inch template, so they're definitely all within the range there. Rather than rolling 1 die per point of rate of fire as teams do when shooting normally, roll 1 die for every team under the template, and you need a 3 or less. So that's 3 dice, 1 for each squad, and I need a 3 plus. 3 up. I've got 2 hits, so what does that mean? They roll saves, right? Roll a hit. Do you roll any team was hit on? Which teams were hit? Must be allocated. Let's see. Roll saves for teams that were hit. Infantry saves. Is anybody in bulletproof cover? So I veered way off path here with the mortar thing. He is. If I can get a 3 plus on that guy in the building, nothing happens to him. Yeah, so nothing happens to that guy. This guy's in the open, that guy's in the woods. Oh, really? The hedge is not bulletproof cover. What would woods be? Woods is not bulletproof cover, is it? I gotta go to cover. You see what I've got myself into here with the damn mortar? cover. Terrain. Terrain table. Well, what's bulletproof cover? Check the index. Bulletproof cover, page 72. We need to define what bulletproof cover is. I know that building was, but what else? Stone wall, building, trench, crater, or gun pit. Doesn't say anything about wood, so, you know, according to these rules, that damn mortar just knocked out these two guys. I don't know if I like those rules. Those seem way too effective. But that's what you get for playing Flames of War rules, right? If I had more time and wasn't on camera, I would have sussed that out a lot better. I don't think that should have happened. That's way too powerful for a mortar to knock out two whole squads with one mortar shot. Whatever. Mark him. And then I have little Hellfire. That woods blocks line of sight for this guy, so he can't fire at anything there. Move you up a little bit. Bring you over here. Nope, the camera's gonna fall off the table. Just put you right back there. Well, the same here, so I don't have a line of sight to anything else. Because it's gonna cut through these woods to hit him, right? I'm asking you guys. No, that's it. So, I can move again. Do I want to do that? Also, I haven't established what being out of command means. Now, I have leaders here for a reason, right? And you need to be within command range of your leader. But I haven't worked out what that would mean to be out of command. 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Can I get hit cover here? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can. And he can't react. 1, 2, 3. How do you like them apples? He's just gonna have to like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrap right around. That kind of puts us in a flanking position. Also, it probably puts us out of command. But gets us further down the map and allows us to kind of flank and approach frontally here and flank there. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's that. That took way too long for that. Let's go back to the center here. Let's see, these guys here. What do they want to do? Any ideas? Any thoughts, suggestions, comments? I guess just fire away. I mean, Jesus, why wouldn't you? So again, with the cover, right? I lost dice somehow. Where's the... How do you lose dice? Oh, hey there. I need D10s for the firing. 4 dice, absorb 1 hit. 1s and 3s. There's he's gone. Because I got 2 hits. 1 is absorbed, but 1 isn't, and he had 1 left, so he's gone. Knocked out. Let's see. Germans had 14. I've knocked out 4 now. He gets that. And like I say, I'm running this really generic. I didn't even take into account that was actually machine gun firing. I still did just the 4. So really, and then, I mean, yeah, I guess you can fire at the leader. But again, I need to bang out rules for that, and I haven't done so. This guy is not within line of sight, so he can't be fired at. 1, 2, 3. If I move right here, that puts me in position to assault the next time. Same with this guy. In fact, we can do that now. If I fire? No, we can't. 1, 2. Let's put him right there. I was gonna say I could assault in there, but if I assault the leader, he's just gonna retreat a hex. And I'm too far away to assault this squad. Squad is also out of, no, he's not out of line of sight. So I'm gonna fire at him in the open, looking for 1, 2, or 3, and I got, well, actually a 1, 2, 3, or 4. I got 1 hit. He cannot absorb it because he's in the open. That drops him down to from a 3 to a 2. He gets another fancy suppression marker. Now he has 2 suppression markers, a strength of 2. If he gets 1 more suppression marker, he breaks. That brings us to these guys here. Back you up. Right there. Let's see what they want to do. What do they want to do? Fire. We're going to fire. We're firing at this guy here. 1. So he does have cover. We're looking for 1s and 3s, and one of those hits is going to be absorbed, which is what happens. But remember what I said. Even though that hit got absorbed, you still get a suppression marker. That brings his suppression level to 3. And he has a strength of 2, so he just broke. And he's done. Mark him as done. So let's get another red. Who else had a red? Who else was broken? Oh, he just got blown away. That's that guy. So he is now, put him there for broken. Same thing. Let's see if we can get rid of him, huh? 4 dice. 1, 2, or 3, with 1 of them being absorbed. I got no hits, so there's no suppression markers on there. Lastly, for this squad, we need to get rid of his suppression markers. That's what I want to do. So that is 1 action, and then you roll a die for each suppression marker. We want 5 or less. We got 1 of them off, which is better than none of them off. That's it for that. That brings us to the final group here. Did I put myself in position to fire? I cannot remember. 1, 2, I don't know if I have line of sight there. I don't think. Ooh, actually, they both do. Okay, so this guy's probably going to be knocked out. 4 dice here, coming in here, and he's going to count for being in the open, so that's 1, 2, 3, or 4. He got 1 hit. That drops him down to a 1. It's already broken, so there's no point in doing the suppression thing. And then finally, that guy, same deal, 1, 2, 3, or 4. He got 2 hits. This guy's done. Because he had 1 strength point left, we got 2 hits. See how that works? So it's now 5 German casualties. 5 German casualties there to 1 American casualty. I still don't know how I feel about that whole mortar thing. Probably needs to be tweaked, and Americans seem to be doing just fine, actually. There's some other things I could tighten up, right? Firing after moving as some sort of modifier might be something to look into. Assault, need to look into how I want to run that. And what else? Machine guns, how do I want those to work? And for all that stuff, or most of it, if not all of it, I'll probably just resort to the old platoon leader rules. But again, like I said, this is just a kind of an experimentation. And also kind of just a feel and see how things looked on the table. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody use poker chips and mount guys on them. I mean, maybe there's a reason I haven't seen that. I might be the only one that thinks that is a clever idea. But we'll see. Alright, I just wanted to run through some stuff off the top of my head there for you, and again, kind of let you peek into the thought process behind coming up with ideas and brainstorming, which is more or less what this was. So I'll talk to you next time, and hope you guys enjoyed that.